to Buffalo Bills pregame Week 15 as the Bills prepare to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Top story of the week, Rams fans are jerks. They butchered our show, they didn't like our, in the comments, they voiced their displeasure, and I'm glad we never have to face them again. So we'll see how Seattle fans are. But the real top story, because we obviously have nothing to talk about with this game, is that Marshawn Lynch, not a popular person around the Buffalo area, is returning as the running back of the Seattle Seahawks. Jared, reaction?
Two reactions. One, my first reaction was, oh, Marshawn, he's not popular, we're totally going to get him. But then I thought, wait, he was traded, doesn't he have something to prove? Not good for the Bills.
I think anything he had to prove, he proved in that long run, then the playoffs, like 65-yard run or whatever in the playoffs. I don't think he really cares enough about the city of Buffalo to feel really strongly about coming here and showing us up when they're in playoff contention and we don't.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he was drafted, like, Spiller was drafted basically to replace Lynch. I mean, if someone was drafted to replace you at your job, wouldn't you feel kind of, I mean, I know that's not really good comparison.
He also went on to a team that's playoff bound. I think he can just point to the scoreboard. Yeah, I'm with Nikia. I think he can point to the scoreboard.
All right, fair enough.
All right, today's top story. Marshawn Lynch traded to the Seattle Seahawks. All right, guys, what do you think about this? Do we prefer him to be traded? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, he probably had the most trade value out of him and Jackson, but frankly, Jackson I think is the better back at this point, and he'd probably be the better mentor for Spiller. But you can see that they weren't getting the carries to all three running backs, so I think Jackson and Spiller will be able to get more there.
But on the offensive side of the ball for the Bills, Fred Jackson has been placed on the injured reserve list. He's out for the season now. Nikia, does this have a big impact on the offense going forward?
I think it'll force them to use C.J. Spiller and use the good back that they have. Not that Fred Jackson isn't a good back. He is a good back. But see, you need to either decide, am I going to run C.J. or am I not going to run him? And now that they don't have a choice, hopefully they'll run him and the good things will happen.
Actually, they do have a choice. His name's Tashard Choice. And they can start throwing him into the mix and seeing what happens there. You never know, maybe he'll start.
And they did sign a new running back to the practice team this week, too. So, I mean, there's plenty of hands to spread those touches
Maybe
around.
that practice squad guy should get the
I mean, C.J. Spiller has been much talked about around the city this week, but C.J. Spiller leads the league in yards per carry as a running back.
Yeah.
He's on par to finish second all-time in yards per carry over the course of a single season. I mean, we're talking about one of the most effective runners that the NFL has ever seen over the course of a season, which is a pretty large sample.
That's because he doesn't touch the ball. If you only touch the ball 8 times and you get 150 yards, of course your average is huge.
But why doesn't the coach notice that and hand him the ball more? Is the point?
Well,
because that just makes sense.
Well, he at one point, Chan Gailey in his post-game press conference was like, well, it was Fred's turn, so... And I'm just like, what?
Said, well, CJ had 2 big runs and he was tired. Well, he's a starting running back. If he's getting tired, then we have a problem. He shouldn't... I mean, yes, you might get, but his thing is, CJ isn't an every down back. Well, then why'd you draft him?
I'm concerned about Seattle having a stout rushing defense, only ranked 4th this year in the NFL, stopping the run. If we don't have success early on running the ball, if Chan's going to give it up right away and try to take advantage of a pass defense that hasn't done as well with Fitzpatrick, who is flawed.
Even when we have success, he doesn't stick to the run, so it'll just make sense that maybe...
Well, that's one of the reasons he said he didn't run CJ. CJ got 7 touches this week, or 8 touches on 7 rushes. He said it was they got behind and down in distance early on in a couple runs and just didn't go back to it. So I hope Chan doesn't fall in the same trap. But on the other side of the ball, the pass rush did have a fair showing against the Rams. Do you think that success will continue, Jared?
I really do think in this case, I think it will continue, and it should. I mean, I think their line's a little bit better. I mean, Marshawn has run over 1,200 yards this year, so obviously the line's doing something right. But, I mean, I think the Bills' pass rush has finally figured it out, and they're going to stick with it. Honestly, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. So and Russell Wilson, they gotta pressure him because he's still a rookie. I don't care if he's starting. Like, he's still a rookie and he's gonna make rookie mistakes. And if they actually get that pressure, which I haven't seen a lot of other teams do, we might actually have a shot at that too.
Wilson is quite athletic in the backfield. Is that something that'll be a problem for the Bills, or will our front four be able to cover up for his athleticism, do you think?
I'm not exactly sure. They're just starting to get it together, and I don't think they faced anybody who's really gonna give them that challenge. So it'll be interesting to see how they stand up to somebody who's just not gonna sit there and take the sack.
I think Sidney Rice and Golden Tate are going to have a huge impact in this game. Again, still trying to stop this in the secondary hasn't happened, so
Oh yeah.
I think those two will have a good week this week.
Topic of discussion this week, and it's about facing the quarterback problem going forward into the off season. Jared, we'll start off with you since you are the Fitzpatrick honk around here. Do you think that going into the off season we should be looking towards free agency with Mike Vick possibly being available, Alex Smith likely being available on the free agents market, or is there a draft pick that you think the Bills like to be made? And do you think it's worth tanking games to get that draft pick?
Well, I think you already know what my answer is going to be, but I think I'm going to somewhat give you my
Stick with
theory.
Fitzpatrick.
Actually, what I think's going to happen is I think because of Gailey's contract situation and Fitzpatrick's contract situation, I think they're going to give it a go another year. Realistically, I see that happening, guys. Despite what you both think, what they should do is they should go back to what we did back in good old 1997 when they tried doing the Todd Collins outside belt experiment, which clearly didn't work. That was 1 year without Jim Kelly, and they're like, no. So what do? They bring in a veteran quarterback in Doug Flutie and someone they thought was going to be good in Rob Johnson. They're like, okay, well, let's see what happens.
He had one good playoff game.
He had the playoff game, but they were referring to the Jaguars game where he did really well.
Yeah.
That's why they brought him in, because of that one game. And go figure, one of them actually turned out to be good. So you would think, okay, let's do the same thing. Let's bring in a veteran that's proved it. I'd rather have Alex Smith over Vic because Vic just looks like he's tanking lately. And then someone who looks, okay, so that's your veteran, and then you think, okay, then someone who looks like he's proved it. I'm not sure who that would be. Rookies, I don't like the rookies right now, so maybe some hot hand I'm not sure of. Like Kirk Cousins or something. I know we're not going to get him, but I mean, that's really what we should do. But it's not going to
worth
happen.
tanking games over?
No,
No.
you don't take games. I mean that. I'm
Okay.
not.
That's never happened in the history of sports.
Of course, it's happened in the history of sports, but I just don't like doing that.
The Bills can't tank games because even if they get a high pick, they're not going to pay them. So it's going to be an ugly situation. So trying to get a high draft pick for the Bills is just useless because they don't know what to do with them anyway. But
right, that's not even.
yeah, Michael Vick or Alex Smith. I mean, I think they both are on. They're both not starting because they got hurt, and their backups happen to play well enough that they figure we're just gonna ride this out and see what happens. Philly's not going to the playoffs, so you might as well see what you got in your backup. San Francisco, what are they on the edge? I think they're.
They'll make it.
They're leading.
I think
they're leading their division, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs.
So it'll be.
Seattle's chasing them for the lead.
Okay, that's what it was. Seattle, the other ass. But so it's just kind of weird that you would not let the guy come back if he's got you this far. Yes, he got hurt, but usually injury doesn't allow you to lose a job. But I guess in San Francisco it does. So I mean, it might be worth seeing what he still has left after that injury. I mean, we can't get any worse.
All I know is that they don't make any changes. It's just a big middle finger to the Bills fans. So keys and picks of the game. Jared, who do you have winning or what's your keys of the game? What do the Bills have to do to win this match?
You're gonna want to hit me. They need to have a good passing game. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's what Changelli's defense is gonna be. That they're 4th against the run, 29th against the pass. So they're gonna try to air it out.
Run is working, stick with the run. It really doesn't matter. If the run is working, you'll get a pass here or there. It's not like Fitzpatrick has an arm and he's throwing 60-yard touchdowns. It's not happening. So they need to stick to what works. If the run is working, stick to the run.
We don't seem like we adjust well at halftime. We don't seem like, as the game goes on, that we're trying to massage the game plan for what's working right now. So
it's very one-dimensional.
Yeah. He comes out with a game plan and he will stick to it, thick or thin. And I have the Bills losing the game 24-17. Fingers crossed. Nakia?
I have them losing also. I think Marshawn is going to come in and have a big game. Not that he cares, but that's just how he plays. So I'm actually going 27-13.
Are they losing on purpose in your scenario?
No,
They're still
just
trying.
they're just gonna get they're gonna get
gonna
beat.
lose. Oh, okay.
Sure.
For some strange reason, my my mental picture in my head told me that it was going to be Bills 27-14. So we'll just see what happens there. I mean, after all, they still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yes,
God.
there is an impossible scenario in which the Bills could make the playoffs. And for those of you interested, well, that wraps up the game. We'll be back next week as the Bills prepare to take on.
Miami.
I don't even care.
They're going to squish the fish in Miami.
All right. Good luck, Bills.